I can't believe I'm saying this, but Mewtwo EX is back. Not just Mewtwo EX, but the classic duo with Gardevoir. This is a crazy throwback. For those of you who are new to Pokemon TCG Pocket, Mewtwo EX and Gardevoir was the original meta-defining deck. That was like the original best deck out there. And now with a few tweaks with some new cards, this deck is back and it's running through ranked mode. It's actually pretty funny because no one's really thinking too hard about it. Everyone's focused on the legendary beast minus Entei, of course. Shout out Entei though. But Raikou EX and Suicune EX are so meta-defining. They're such insane cards that no one thinks about the cards that can just absolutely counter them. I'd go as far as saying that 90% of the decks that you're going to face off against in high ranked mode is going to be a form of Suicune EX, Raikou EX, Darkrai, Giratina, or Arceus, and Mewtwo EX one-shots them all. Sometimes the answer for anti-meta is so obvious that you kind of just overlook it, like, oh no, we're not gonna run Mewtwo EX again. It had its time in the beginning of TCG Pocket. It had its time when ranked first came out with Giratina. It's done for, but that is far from the truth. So let's get into the build of this deck. Looking at the new and improved Mewtwo EX deck, the biggest thing about today's meta is speed. And the baby Pokemon are perfect for energizing your Pokemon and getting them out there and set up quicker. And that's exactly why I chose Magby. Now, you can choose any of the baby Pokemon like Pichu or Mantike, but I'm choosing Magby because I'm sick and tired of seeing electric and water energy out there. We need some energy diversity up in here, so that is why we got Magby for some fire representation. Its attack for 0 energy allows you to attach a fire energy to one of your basic Pokemon, which is actually really good for Mewtwo EX because it only needs 2 psychic energy. The rest, you can do any other energy you need. I don't think a lot of people caught on to that. So we're running 2 Magby, 2 Mewtwo EX. And again, if you're new to TCG Pocket, Mewtwo EX was an absolute beast, and it definitely still is today. It has 2 attacks. First one for 2 energy, it does 50 damage, and its main attack for 4 energy, you can do 150 damage, but you have to discard 2 psychic energy from Mewtwo EX. 150 damage one-shots a lot of the meta-relevant cards out there. The legendary beast, Darkrai EX, Giratina EX, Arceus EX. The list really does go on. It just doesn't one-shot the 2-stage Pokemon. And you don't have to worry about discarding your psychic energy because of Gardevoir. Now we're running 2 Ralts, 1 Kirlia, and 2 Gardevoir. Basically what Gardevoir does is it allows you to attach a psychic energy to your active Pokemon. So make sure that Mewtwo EX is in the active position, or Gardevoir if you need to attack with Gardevoir. And its attack does 60 damage for 3 energy, which might seem steep, but its ability really does help out with that. And Gardevoir will help out with Oricorio. That's going to be like your main counter, which is kind of crazy to think about. The Ralts that we're running is the Teleport Ralts. You don't really want to use any of the other Ralts. Teleport allows you to keep your energy on it and get it back onto your bench. It's always good to save your energy where you can. And then the Kirlia is the one with Slap. And these 3 Pokemon all together form what I call the Mewtwo blender. If you play your cards right, you can get your Mewtwo EX set up by your second turn. Let me rephrase that. By your second turn, you can do 150 damage. And then the next turn, you'll do 150 damage. And the next turn and the next turn, and there is really no fighting back a Mewtwo EX if it's fully set up, especially if you get it set up by your second turn, which isn't always the case. It usually gets set up by turn 3 or 4, but still by then you're looking pretty good. Now moving on to the items, of course we have 2 rare candy to get that Gardevoir set up even quicker. We have an elemental switch, which actually does come in clutch. Say you're not starting with a Mewtwo EX, you have a Ralts and a Magby, and you want to attach an energy to your Ralts, you can use this elemental switch to get that energy back onto your Mewtwo when you get it in play. Or vice versa if you need to take care of Oricorio. Or even if you're bringing an injured Mewtwo EX to your bench and putting in a healthy one, the possibilities are endless. This is basically just a free Dawn at this point. We've got 2 Pokeball and a Giant Cape just to make Mewtwo EX a little bit more tanky. It comes in handy when you're facing off against Darkrai, Giratina, as well as Suicune and Greninja, 2 of the most popular decks out right now. And then moving on to the supporters, we have 2 Professor's Research and one of the most important cards in this deck, Giovanni. Giovanni pairing with Mewtwo EX is so iconic, but it also is here for Gardevoir. Giovanni allows you to one-shot the legendary beast with Cape. Well, actually, Mewtwo EX already one-shots Raikou EX with a cape on it, but Giovanni will allow it to one-shot Suicune EX with a cape. It'll allow you to one-shot Arceus EX with a cape, Darkrai EX with a cape, any of the EV evolutions with a cape minus Flareon. But another important role that Giovanni plays is when you have to face off against a 70 HP Oricorio and your Gardevoir EX conveniently does 60 damage, so it's a perfect knockout for Gardevoir. That electric bird is so annoying, and it's crazy how we have to build decks around that freaking bird. Moving on to Leaf, that just helps out if you're starting out with the Mewtwo EX and you just want to bring it back onto your bench to get your Magby out there to start attaching energy. And lastly, you're gonna have Mars, and this is also a very anti-meta card right now. With Raikou EX and Suicune EX being like the main decks out there, their draw potential is insane, and if they by chance knock out, say, your Magby or even a Mewtwo EX, Mars can really shift the play. It's a very simple and straightforward deck, and it's very easy to use, and it just synergizes so well. I went on a 5-win streak to get into Ultra Ball 4, and I'm gonna push for Master Ball with this deck. So let's get into some ranked matches. I mean, as you guys can see, we're newly into Ultra Ball 4, 5-win streak 2. Let's see if I can keep that streak going. That would be great. But let's make some progress towards Master Ball rank. Okay, so we're going first, which isn't the end of the world, and we really do have like a perfect hand as far as our basic Pokemon goes. So we're gonna put Magby there, and we're going to put Ralt on the bench, and we're just gonna save Mewtwo EX. Again, I always like to do the psychological game. I want to make them think that I just drew the Mewtwo EX. It gets a little crazy in the higher ranks, but just trust me, it does go a long way. It just prevents them from like Marsing you or red carding you. So we're facing off against Suicune EX with Giratina and Greninja. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So let's put Mewtwo EX on the bench, and we're just going to go ahead and Toasty Toss and end the turn. Hopefully we can get Professor's Research next turn, or just something to help us get our Gardevoir up and going. At the end of the day, you don't really need Gardevoir to get Mewtwo fully built up. If we really want to, we can just keep Mewtwo EX on the bench and have Magby give us another fire energy, and by the time they knock out our Magby, we'll be able to knock out their Suicune EX. So we got the Gardevoir, but we don't have a rare candy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and attach energy to Mewtwo EX. There's no need to put it in the active spot to do 50 damage because we're going to be able to knock it out next turn. So we're just going to Toasty Toss, sack out the Magby, and if we need to, we can use the Giovanni next turn. If they don't have a cape, then we'll probably end up Marsing them. If they get a Greninja, that'll be annoying, but I don't think it'll be the end of the world. Yep, there's the rare candy, and we're going to get the Greninja. Oh man, if they like hit us and then Cyrus us, that will also be annoying, but again, not the end of the world. So there's a Pokeball, so I know they burned that. They can't put that basic Pokemon on their bench. So a Mars could come in clutch. Yep, they are going to Cyrus the Mewtwo EX, of course. That is crazy. But either way, we're going to be able to knock out that Suicune, no problem. We've got a Professor's Research. I would much rather use that right now. Hopefully we can get that rare candy. Oh, okay. And we got a Pokeball. If we can get another Mewtwo on the bench. Hold on. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is evolve for Gardevoir, and then I'm going to attach an energy, thanks to Gardevoir, to our active Mewtwo EX, and then we're going to go ahead and attach an energy to our benched Mewtwo EX. So now we're going to knock out the Suicune EX, no problem at all. They can knock us out if they put the Froakie out in the active spot, but then our Mewtwo EX will be able to knock it out thanks to Giovanni. They're going to Greninja us. The energy's going on the Froakie, and there we go. We win the game. We beat Suicune EX, Giratina EX, Greninja with Mewtwo EX. I'm just living proof, and we're going on the 6th streak after this. Now, just for funsies, we're going to attach all the energy we can to the Mewtwo EX, just in case. I don't know. I might be doing the math wrong, but there's the Giovanni. We hit him with, oh, never mind. They hit us with the Concede, and we win. It's just that simple. Mewtwo EX is insane. Now look at this. We're on a 6th streak. First game in to Ultra Ball 4. Let's get into another game here. Hopefully we can keep the win streak going. We're going second now. That's honestly even better. Now, I'm going to start off with Mewtwo in the active spot, which is kind of weird. I don't really want to have the Ralts out there, you know? I would rather have our Mewtwo EX take some damage if needed, because we have Gardevoir in hand. You know, we could get a rare candy or a Curlia, but we're just gonna have to be chipping away at the Suicune EX, I guess. We also have the Leaf too, so if we end up pulling a Magby, we'll be able to retreat the Mewtwo EX no problem. And of course, it's another Suicune EX deck. Now, I do want to be careful. I don't want to play more cards on the bench than I need to. So if I end up pulling a second Mewtwo EX, I probably won't put it on the bench just to keep the Suicune as limited as possible.
Wait, no, wait, what?
We have a rare candy. So next turn, we're going to have the Gardevoir fully set up. That's actually crazy. Either way, we're going to just keep the Mewtwo EX out there. We're not going to use the Leaf for whatever reason. We're going to end the turn there. Now, there's a good probability they have a Greninja ready to go, which again, super annoying. And there's the professor's research. Like, leave me alone. Their hand is so big. The Suicune EX is crazy. They got another Suicune EX, so no Giratina this time around. Oh, no Greninja. Okay, so their hand's looking pretty big. I might just use our Mars to mess with them. Yeah, I think that's a good play. There's a good chance they have like a Greninja or a rare candy in their hand, so this just helps us out a little bit longer. We're going to use the rare candy, get the Gardevoir all set up, use the shiny one, of course, prioritize the shiny, and we're going to use its ability, and we're going to attach an energy to Mewtwo EX, and we're just going to hit for 50, might as well do some damage. So it looks like they might just go for it with this Suicune EX, which is kind of weird. Yeah, they're just going to go for it with this Suicune EX. We're probably going to win. I'm going to use the professor's research. We got a Pokeball. If we get a Ralts, I'll put that on the bench, but anything else, I don't know. There's the Ralts. We might as well put it on the bench. Actually, yeah, I think I'm just going to put it on the bench. Why not? We're going to attach a bunch of energy to the Mewtwo EX and 150 damage right to the dome. They won't be able to attack us next turn, so I think we're looking pretty good. They're bringing out there's other Suicune EX, but I think it's too little too late. We're running through Suicune EX decks right now. There we go. This is like the best feeling ever. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. Back-to-back wins against Suicune EX decks. Like, it's like the most common deck out right now. It's so annoying to go up against. We're on a 7-win streak. It just can't get better. And like, this is a good showing, but Mewtwo EX is just built different. Next game, maybe we can get like a Raikou deck. That would be cool. Something other than Suicune, but I mean, that is exactly what the meta is. Okay, and we're going first. Again, not the end of the world. They're running water, which is crazy, but look at our hand. We got Magby, we got Mewtwo EX, and we have a Ralts. So we're going to lead with the Magby, and I'm going to keep my hand since we're going first and we have a professor's research. Again, the psychological game. It comes in clutch. Okay, so they got a Froakie. If we end, oh my goodness, and a Gardevoir. But if we end up getting a Giovanni, that might be a situation where we're going to want to bring the Mewtwo EX out. And we have a rare candy. This is great. So we pulled another Magby from this, but they don't know that. They might think that we pulled this Mewtwo EX from there or this Ralts. But either way, we're going to Toasty Toss into our Mewtwo EX. Going to have Gardevoir ready to go unless they red card us, which wouldn't be the end of the world really, because we have Magby charging us up. They got Giant Cape. They're going to have to waste an energy to get a Suicune out in the active spot if that's what they're going to try to do. And that's really good for us, honestly. There's the Giratina. And what are they going to do here? They're just going to attack, which is interesting because our Magby's in one ability territory for the Greninja. So that's something to keep our eyes on. But either way, we're going to rare candy here, get the Gardevoir up and going. And yeah, we're just going to bring the Mewtwo EX out there. They didn't use the Giratina ability for some reason. They really wanted to do 20 damage, which makes me think they're going to have a Greninja ready to go. Either way, if they do get a Greninja, they're going to knock out the Magby, and then we'll have to bring out our Mewtwo EX anyway. So let's just retreat, bring the Mewtwo EX out there, and build it up with the Gardevoir. And then we're just going to hit for 50 and see what happens. We're going to be able to attach 2 Psychic Energy next turn, so we can get away with the side drive. I mean, they're going to be in the Mewtwo EX blender before they know it. So there's the Suicune EX. I doubt they bring it out. That wouldn't be a smart play at all for them. They're attaching energy to it. Using a silver. I got nothing for you. Oh, man. And they concede. Back-to-back-to-back wins against Suicune EX decks. It is a beautiful sight, everybody. We're on an 8 win streak. I want to get into another game that isn't Suicune EX, so we're just gonna try once more. If it's Suicune EX, it's Suicune EX. But let's get into it. This is great. This is great. And we're going second, which is pretty solid, and we're going up against water, of course. Yeah, we're gonna lead with Mewtwo EX. We're gonna put Ralts on the bench as well. We're gonna go ahead and start the game. There's the Froakie. Okay, at least they didn't start with a Suicune. It's gonna take a little while to get the Suicune in the active position for them. We also have a Giovanni, so we're gonna be able to knock out that Froakie if they can't evolve it in time or retreat it in time. Wow, they got a big hand going right now. They better play the basic Pokemon that they pulled.
Bye, have a great time.
They didn't. Okay, we're gonna Mars them because they used the Pokeball and they didn't play anything from that. So yeah, that's an easy Mars. We're gonna attach an energy there and end the turn. Now hopefully they don't have what they need for Greninja. That would be crazy if we just gave it to them. They have Professor's Research, of course. Suicune EX, you're gonna bring it out to the active position. No, okay. We're gonna Giant Cape the Suicune. Now, we do have the opportunity to Giovanni the Froakie, but I think it would be wiser to save up to Giovanni the Suicune. So we're going to attach energy here. We're going to Giant Cape our Mewtwo EX because I want to keep this Giovanni in our hand. We don't want them to red card us or Mars us, and we're just gonna hit for 50. We just want to be a little low key right now. Like, hey, don't bother our hand. Stay away from our hand. That's all I'm asking. And attach energy to the Froakie, and they're bringing out the Suicune. It's not the end of the world. They're not going to put any damage on us yet, but they are going to be drawing, and they're going to be getting closer to that Greninja, but we're going to be drawing too with this Professor's Research. We got a rare candy, no Gardevoir. I don't want them to do a lot of damage, but either way, we're at 170 HP. The most they'll be able to do is like 100. If they get 2 Greninjas somehow, I'm just gonna leave it up to fate, and we're just gonna go ahead and Psychic Sphere there. Okay, we have the rare candy though. Either way, I think we're looking pretty good because we're just gonna be able to side drive next turn. There's the Mantike, a little late to the party, but they're gonna do what, 80 damage? They don't have a Greninja. Usually they'd be faster to evolve the Greninja if they had it. They get a little excited. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Okay, yeah, they're gonna do some damage to us. Not a lot at all. And there's the Gardevoir. And there is the game. We're going to put Gardevoir on the bench. Let's put Ralt on the bench as well, just because. We're going to Psy Shadow. We're going to attach an energy. And we're going to side drive. And I don't think there's anything they can do next turn. This is insane. We're getting nothing but Suicune EX decks. And we're getting nothing but dubs. There's the concede. You love to see it. Like, come on. Mewtwo EX is insane. They're all probably so mad. They're like, this guy's still using this deck. And we're on a 9 win streak. We're on a 9 win streak. And I'm just going to end the video here. I'm going to end it here. You know, we'll give the Suicune enjoyers some time to relax. You know, some time to rank up. I'm kind of feeling a little bad for them. But that is just the pure power of this Mewtwo EX deck. You guys are seeing it firsthand. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely cooked with that deck. You guys can't deny it. You guys saw it firsthand. We're getting nothing but Suicune EX deck. Suicune EX Giratina, Suicune EX Greninja. They can't keep up with Mewtwo EX. I can't believe Mewtwo EX and Gardevoir made a comeback September of 2025, but here we are. Going on a 9 win streak is crazy. I'm probably gonna hit Master Ball rank tomorrow, and it's just day 2 of the ranked season. Either way, this deck is amazing. It's not just like, hey, this is a fun deck to use. Hey, this is a weird deck to use. It's genuinely a really good deck. So hey, I hope you guys try out this deck. It's honestly really good. It'll help you guys rank up. It's very easy to use as well. And I just noticed we had Mewtwo just lurking in the background for this entire video. Dude was just watching Mewtwo greatness. But either way, that's gonna do it. And as always, if you enjoyed this content, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.